everyone. Welcome back to our fourth episode. I'm so happy you're here. I hope you're enjoying our podcast. We're having a lot of fun doing it. Today, we want to talk about stuff between the 80s and 90s. Since I'm going to say I was born in the 70s, but was raised in the 90s. And then Lem here was born in the 80s, but was more growing up in the 90s. So we're going to talk about a few of our favorite things that we can remember. And maybe you guys can remember some fun things from back then too. Whatever, whenever you were born, share with us some of the things you remember as a kid. Because I always say some days, God, I wish I was back in the 80s. The 80s to me were the best. What do you think, Lem?
Hey everyone, and it's good to see you. Well, in the 80s, I was still a baby, so I can't really remember much. I think my
baby.
the earliest memory of the 80s is when I was bitten by a goose or a swan or something, but that was it. But let's say
What?
I was.
You were bitten by a goose?
2 or 3 years old, and that was still in the 80s. Now, 90s
oh my God.
is when I was actually growing up, and I would say for me late 90s and then the early 2000 were like the best times, maybe so to say, and with like everything, because I grew up having this switch from no technology. I mean, like cell phones and everything being like so, and the internet. I mean, I lived during the time when there was no internet, like for every typical household. And then it started to get into it. Like, we started to have internet, but don't you dare use the phone while I'm on the internet. Don't.
Well, so I said that was AOL for us, but you didn't have AOL, right?
We did. I can still remember the tone of the exactly.
Yeah. That was the later 90s, correct?
Yeah, that's like, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, beginning 90s was, I think I was still too young, too little to have any of those actual memories of
But you still had computers when you were in high school, though, weren't you?
Yeah, in high school.
See,
but I was
we didn't. I took keyboarding on a keyboard on an actual typewriter.
Wow.
Nobody uses them anymore, do they? I don't think so.
Not like people on private households. Because it's vintage to have a typewriter. And
are you calling me vintage?
No, I'm not calling you
vintage. Are you calling me vintage?
It's just I think it's cool having a typewriter because they're beautiful.
Oh my God. Okay, what are you just gonna have on sitting on your counter? Look at my beautiful ancient vintage typewriter. Does it work?
They better do. I would get one. And don't forget those we call them Schallplatten. Now I forgot what they were called in English. Those
Jesus,
big
Schallplatten.
What they're called in English, the ones you put them on, they're like big CDs.
Wait,
I need a translator.
What?
It's like those big CDs. They're not a CD. Schallplatten. You put them on and
Schallplatten. On a CD, a sticker, a whiteout.
It's not a CD. It's a big CD. Wait, now I need
a floppy disk.
No, holy shit! Wait.
I don't know what you're. Usually, I can guess what you're saying.
Yeah, usually,
but I don't.
It's a record. Just a vinyl.
Oh my God!
A vinyl.
Vinyl. A vinyl.
Vinyl.
Is that a vanilla? No. Okay. Oh my God. Okay. Yes, a vinyl, a record. Where did you get vinyl from a typewriter?
Because it's vintage.
Okay.
Because you can get those.
I grew up with records.
Yeah, we had
true.
One of those.
I had a record player.
With record
player. I have that's my first things were records before I even had cassettes.
Yeah. We had
So, I
one
mean, I had,
and just sold it like maybe 10 years ago. It was
well,
huge.
you can buy them, and my sister has one now, and
Mm,
she does get, they're more of a collectible thing now,
yeah.
vinyl records. Um, Vinyl,
Vinyl?
but vinyl, but I'm not going to let you forget this one
Yeah,
now.
I know. I'm giving you
um,
ammo.
exactly. But yeah, that's more of a, from a phonograph. But let's hit back into the 80s and 90s. And there is one thing that I collected and loved in the 80s, and they did not apparently have this in Germany, which I thought maybe they did, but who remembers Garbage Pail Kids? Because, dude, anytime I got my quarter, I would be running to the Ben Franklin to get a pack of this. And it had the nasty cards in it, and you get that piece of gum. And I'm like, we don't know what that is, but Cabbage Patch Kids, you knew of. Did you have a Cabbage Patch Kid? 'Cause I had two.
The what?
The Cabbage Patch Kids. Did you have any?
I don't think so. They really
Okay,
don't
so you
ring a
guys,
bell at all.
they don't even have Cabbage Patch Kids now by you because they still sell them, but they were very huge in the 80s. And I mean, my mother went behind the Toys R Us to get one off the truck. This was before eBay. This was before you had to like try to stand in line and get stuff for that hot Christmas present. That's what it was. So you don't even have Cabbage Patch dolls there.
I don't remember them at all. So
Okay.
maybe I've seen them as a kid growing up, but they were never like something I needed to have or I wanted to have.
So that was a big, big deal. And that's where it comes in the dolls, but then they had the cards that made fun of the dolls. But I had to, and my mom would always be like, why are you wasting your money on those things? Well, mom, guess how much I sold for a series set of them for? They're very highly collectible now,
No
those
way.
original series. Yep. And I
Damn.
had sold some, but I still have some of my originals. I mean, do you have any
I think
things
that's
that you
for us like
totally,
the Pokemon cards. Now they're coming back, but we used to collect them
mhm,
as kids. Like we
yeah.
have, I have no idea where they are, but I'm sure we have hundreds of Pokemon cards from the originals from like the first generation, I would say, like when they
Well,
were
that's some money. That's some
that.
money right there
And
too.
we should actually look for them because we had
Hmm.
so many from the shiny ones, from the rare ones. We had them in like those um foils where you like see-through foils, and just for them to not go bad, we just
Yeah, they're
collect them.
sleeves, the card sleeves, right?
Yeah.
That's what I would call it.
So,
But yeah,
and then we had the gogos. I don't know if you know what the gogos are. They're like little plastic figures, and
go.
yeah, they're like gogos.
No,
So what you
I
do
don't.
is you can collect them. You can buy them at the store. It's like a pack of
Mm.
maybe 3 to 5 pieces, and they all look different, different colors, and you can play. There's a certain way you play, and when you hit the other gogo of the opponent, you can win this one. So you take it. And we used
This.
to have so
Oh,
many. We used to play go-go's in the break at school, like put the table in a way that we have enough space, and everyone puts a few go-go's, like as many as you are willing to lose, I would say. And you take one more, like usually your favorite one or the bigger go-go, and you just have to like slide it over the table, and the ones that fall off, that you hit and fall off, you can get. So
do you know that sounds like? Oh my God,
so that is
Pog,
go-go. No, no, those were
Pogs.
pug cards.
No, Pogs weren't cards.
They were
They were like
those round. Yeah,
poker chips,
exactly like
like,
poker
but
chips.
they
We had
had
those as
stuff on
well.
them. So you had those. Okay,
You had
those were later. I
one
had a
that's
tube, and you can
harder.
put them in a tube.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, okay, but is that similar to Go-Go's?
No, the go-gos are actual figures. They're like little figures you
Oh,
would get from a Kinder Surprise egg or something.
Oh, and we know what Kinder Surprise eggs are because we've had them here now. And
You
I
have
know the
them now.
kids have.
Ooh.
Oh, we've had Kinder
Oh yeah,
eggs
you've had them and then they
since
banned them.
sieges. Yeah, why? Because of choking?
Yeah, that's what I know because
But when
okay,
was this?
I
Because
don't know.
I've seen them in the stores, and I know Little has bought them also.
Mm,
So it hasn't been that long if they've been
I
banned.
have no idea.
What do you do? Trying to kill us over here? No.
But we can keep this for the next episode or the one after. We talk about, you know, let's leave it for the next one.
Uh,
So
that sounds a little,
so we had Gumos to collect, and then we had Polly Pocket. Big fan of Polly Pocket. My Little Pony.
Oh, yeah.
What did we have?
Well, Strawberry Shortcake. Strawberry Shortcake was huge, and all of these things came back.
Yeah, now they're extremely, like there's even cartoons on Netflix and everything. It's like everything's coming back.
Yes,
Care Bears, whatever.
yes. Oh, my
And
Care Bear. I had a Care Bear. I had an original. Could
oh,
you say you had an original? I had Cheer Bear. It was pink with the rainbow on the belly.
yeah, that's cute. And then we had something here in Germany
Mm.
that are called Didel. Didel is like a mouse, and you had them as plushies, but also it was huge. You had them as a keychain, you had them as paper blocks, pens, pencils, cards, gift cards. You had deal everywhere. It's all about this mouse in different forms, as a girl, as a boy, as a baby, as a mother, as a father, as whatever. It's all about Deedle. So that
The
was
same
also,
mouse?
it's a mouse, yeah. So that was also
This sounds
something
like
that,
Hello Kitty.
yeah, similar,
I
but
mean,
that
Hello
was like
Kitty was
extremely spread here in
everything.
Germany.
Hello Kitty was a
Hello
track
Kitty,
star to a
everything.
volleyball player to
Yeah,
a teacher.
but Deedle was, I think it was mainly in Germany. I've never heard
Okay.
anyone talk about Deedle before that wasn't German.
That almost sounds like you're saying the grocery store, Lidl.
Lidl, Deedle.
Deedle. Oh, so Deedle and Lidl? Okay. See, and this is why I have a very hard time trying to learn German.
I know, I know.
Lidl, 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 Lidl. What? What? Oh my God.
So
But
yeah,
you collected stickers,
yeah, you
just
did.
like I collected stickers.
Yeah,
And we would take, I had a friend, her cousin used to take an old photo album. You remember old photo albums where you
yeah,
pull back the plastic? Do you remember photos? We don't know what photos are anymore because all we do is use our cameras, right?
yeah. You
We
have them
just
all
use our cameras. But
digital.
back then, you printed them out and put them in an album.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you would take a sticker album and then she would decorate it and make like this puffy outside and it would be this gorgeous sticker like album you could put your stickers in,
Mm.
and I gotta say my favorite stickers were always the smelly stickers. I couldn't. There was the trend ones. We used to get them on papers at school.
Yeah.
They used to, like in grade school, we would get them for, you got an A. You'd get a smelly sticker and you would like heaven.
Oh,
And then you would try to pull them off your paper so you could put them in your book when you got home.
yeah.
And then the other ones, they were mellow smellows. They were bigger and they're just, people still collect them to this day and you can find them on eBay. I know I still have some in originals in a case out in my garage.
Nice.
What were your favorite kinds?
My
Because I know
favorite were the
they had
fluffy ones.
puppies. The
Ah,
what
the
ones?
fluffy ones.
Oh, like the fuzzy?
Yeah. I just didn't want
They
to
were
say that
fluffy.
word.
How much? Oh, yeah. What's the other word? You get confused? Fussy, fuzzy? We're not going there.
So they're just fluffy.
Do you remember now what those words mean? Can you get it straight when somebody's a little
No.
cranky? What is she? What is it?
I would always mix them up. Leave me
Yeah,
alone.
what is it? What is it?
I'm not
Tell
doing
me.
that now. Oh god.
She's
And Game
fussy.
Boys. Game Boys. They were like
Well, that's
in the 90s. Our first Game Boy was in the 90s. It was the bulky big Game Boy. Damn.
that was gray and huge,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
gray and
I had no
yeah.
Nintendo stuff. we only had Atari back in the 80s, but we'd never got a Nintendo. But what was the first Nintendo you had?
Um, the Super
Did you have an
Nintendo.
original?
The Super
Oh, so a
Nintendo.
Super Nintendo. I don't even, what year did
Mm,
that one come out?
I have
Because
no
that was
idea.
still in the,
I remember
was
we
that
had
the
the
late?
Atari, like very beginning 90s.
Mhm.
And then we had the Super Nintendo and the Game Boy, the gray one. And then I got,
Yeah.
and I think it was Christmas, we went to Toys R Us and I was able to pick my own Game Boy and I picked the red one. I was so happy.
Oh,
And my
that's so
brother
cool.
took the
I have a
gray
red
one.
one.
Yeah, it was like so cool. And then after a while, after a couple of years, the Game Boy Color was released. And that's when we were
Yeah, and
like,
that was
ooh. I picked the green, my
that was the
brother picked the
purple.
yellow, and
Yeah.
that was like big thing.
Yeah, I was more into video games than my sister. She did not care much. She played Atari a little, but I was an Atari freak. But then we didn't have the Super Nintendo. We never had it, but then I had everything when I got older in the
Mm.
90s. I mean, you're sitting there growing up, and I was friggin' married in the late 90s. I mean, that's crazy.
It is.
But I don't know. Do you remember, like, did you guys have Lisa Frank stickers there? Or, like, have you ever heard of that name? They were very colorful, like folders, and she had so much of pencils and erasers and back to school supplies and stuff like that. Did you ever hear of Lisa Frank? I thought she was everywhere.
Now I'm
Oh,
actually
I know what you're
checking
doing.
because it doesn't tell me anything. No, it
Really?
doesn't.
Because that was just a big huge thing. And I think she still had stuff to this day. But now,
Oh, that
you
is
know,
so colorful.
yeah. I mean, there was sticker everything. I remember having a couple folders, things like that, because that goes right back to. Are they trying to bring? Have you ever heard of a Trapper Keeper?
No?
Where it was this folder. Oh my God, it was like the holy grail in grade school. And it was plastic, and it would have a picture of something on it. And it had Velcro, and you open it up and your folders were inside of
Oh,
it.
yes, yes,
And you
yes,
could put your
yes.
pencil case inside of it,
Yeah.
and then like a spiral. I think they're starting to come back again with these same Trevor. I mean, I would remember running to pick out, and they were only, I think, like 4.99, five
Wow.
ninety nine back then.
So
Now they're
cheap.
probably like, yeah, exactly.
Now they're gonna
But
be
those were another thing.
14.99.
Probably. Well, the kids still need something
Yeah.
similar, and they're like $15-$20.
Yeah.
Little needed one. I mean, CJ doesn't, but she did. So I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
Um, I'm trying. Oh, did you
Yeah.
guys have jelly bracelets? You know what jelly bracelets are, right?
Yeah, we did. We did.
Those were huge.
They
And then they
were.
had those. Do you remember they were bracelets, but there was like a pen, and they clamped, and it was a pen on one side, and you could use it as a pen,
Yes. Or the big
and they
ones, the
smelled.
pencils, the long pencils that you can bend around. They were like extremely
Oh,
long.
yes. Or the other ones that looked suggestible. They had like, it was big, and there was at the top, there was like maybe 8 different colors, and you would push
Yes,
one
you
down,
push
and that,
one. Yeah, yeah. And then you have that
but
color.
that was the first time when I heard someone told me in school what it looked like. And I had no idea what that was in the 6th grade. And then I found out what it was.
Oh.
I think we all know what we're talking about, don't we? But we keep this family friendly for now.
Yes.
We will put a warning when we aren't so sweet and innocent. I'm trying to think of like other fun things that we had. There's so many things
They
in the
are.
80s, but so many things are coming back to that.
Or
Wait,
let's
no,
say
break.
Walkman and Discman.
Oh, yes.
Like
Hmm.
nowadays, you have everything on your phone, every music, or you just Spotify, YouTube, wherever you just have access to music. But back then, it was like you have to record the song from your cassette
Oh, don't even.
to
I
the,
sit
from the
on the
radio.
radio.
Oh, yes. And
Well,
then
what was
we
that?
have
That
the
Fisher
Walkman.
Price. Remember the
We
Fisher
had
Price tape
this.
recorder?
We had this
Yes,
with a
the
little
brown one.
microphone. We had a
Yep.
very colorful one with a microphone.
Yeah, we had the brown one, and I remember that was my sister's, but I had a red one with a Garfield sticker on it. Who didn't love
Aw,
Garfield?
I swear.
Who didn't love
Garfield
Garfield back then?
was life. Garfield. So
I
cute.
actually had books. I had Garfield bed sheets. I sure
Oh.
did, and I'm proud of my Garfield bed sheets. I'm not saying what kind of bed sheets I have now either, because I'm still a child at heart, but you know what I'm
I
talking
know.
about.
I know.
You would too, so shut it.
Oh yeah,
But I can.
definitely. I mean,
um, we're gonna do some more 80s and 90s stuff for you, but
yeah.
I think we're starting to run out of time now, and we hope this time my voice sounds better
Yes.
because
The last time the
my
editor did few
the
mistakes.
editor, who we won't name,
The editor?
the beautiful, lovely editor,
I mean, I'm not
who's
sure if
German.
she's
I mean,
here.
what?
Wait, what? Are you selling me out here? Oh no, who? I'm talking about the editor. She did a beginner's mistake.
Yes, but we still love her.
Do we?
But we hope. What? Do you? Okay, if you
should
made
celebrate
me.
today because no editor's fault anymore.
Oh my God, I swear to God.
Oh
But
god.
I hope you guys enjoyed this one. It was fun taking a little walk back to
Memory
memory
lane.
lane. Yeah, exactly. Memory lane. And you need to give us some thumbs up, right?
Yes. Yes.
What else? They
Please.
need to hit the bell.
Subscribe. Hit the
They need to
bell.
subscribe. And you finish this one out with your lovely way of telling people to take care.
Yeah, please take care of yourself. Stay safe.
She always says stay safe. You gotta love
Yeah.
it.
Yes.
But thanks a lot and hang tight for our next episode.
We'll catch you next
Thanks.
time. Bye bye.